Hello, it's me, Anna. So just a couple of announcements. As always, all readings are for the purposes of accordance with the law. I am not a financial advisor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a doctor. If you need one of those, please seek those. So my psychic development circles, I wanted to talk to you guys about those if you happen to catch this, and then I'm going to make a little separate video. I'm really, they're smaller than I than I hoped for, but they are still perfect in size, and I think everybody's getting a lot out of them, and I'm getting really good feedback. Basically, what it is there is no teaching. Like one person said, I thought you were going to be like teaching, and you're just diving right in, and I am. I just dive right in and have you guys actually work on connecting with your own intuition and giving messages. So it's a work in progress. The way I normally do circles is that we just give what we get, right? So when you guys ask, it's like similar, like asking for a general reading. But we're gonna like shift it up just a little bit to kind of help people out a little bit. Yes, you can be added way the school system worked. Oh crap. Says my connection's unstable, so hopefully you guys can hear me. One of the group, she went missing on Friday night. Her name is Allison Chapman Kempe. We call her Allie. And I included a link to the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department Facebook page that has a little blurb about her. If you could go there and share with as many people as possible, or if you have any information, if you could contact them. Let me send my husband a text and see if he'll tell my daughter to stop playing Roblox. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm gonna put you on mute, I think. I don't know, can I mute you? I can mute you on Zoom. Let me just send him a text or call him. He won't answer. Oh, what am I kidding? Let's see if it stops for a second, and if not, she's right above me, so I think that's part of the problem. Her room is right above this room. Anyhow, they'll include me in all their high school stuff. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm gonna pop out, holler at my daughter, and then maybe please tell Jillian to get off of Roblox because it's buffering a lot. I tried telling her before, but I don't know if she heard me. Okie dokie, I'm back. Let's see if that worked. So Allie's been missing since Friday. I've included the link. If you're in the Houston area or you know anybody in the Houston area, please share it. She has a 2020 Acura MDX that she was driving. She was driving home from a restaurant. She has two sweet little boys and who need their mommy. So I'm not going to share what I feel about her or what, because I just I think it's like kind of an inappropriate thing just in case, but I don't have good feelings about it. So yeah, if you know anything, if you see anything, please contact the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department. And again, the link and a picture of her are on there with a little bit more information. That said, I hope everybody's doing well. It felt weird and gone so long from you all, so I'm back. So let's get started. Ashley P., you're up first. I'm just double checking. Devry had a second question she wanted to ask. And I have Lauren Jane on here with one question. Oh, and Regine. Lauren Jane has one. And then Regine also has one. And hang on, Regine, now I have to read your message that you wrote. let's see. Can I share, Regine, or if you're on here, can I share what you said for a validation? Because I think that that's great. And I hope you don't mind. Would you be okay with me sharing that as like a little Instagram post? Because I think people like when you get validations and they see that like someone's actually like, the real deal. I guess, I don't know, was it, I said that was it in June that I said that someone would be pregnant, and then the other one of your sisters would be pregnant soon after, and apparently one is, so yay. Congratulations to your growing family. Ashley, you are up. Is the buffering stopped? Has it stopped? So I'm excited about that, because, all that love. Okay, so Ashley says, question one, I asked last time about the job interview in France. You said it would go well and I would get it. It went well. They said July 13th or August 30th for decision because they have to vote at a board meeting. When do you see them offering me the job? And will I have to return to the US to get my visa? I don't feel like you'll have to return to the US to get your visa. I feel like you'll be able to do that not that I know much about getting visas, let's be honest, because I'm not exactly the world traveler. I've been to I've been to Spain once and Mexico. That's it. I feel like, I guess you could do it at a consulate or something like that. It feels like being able to stay there and get it taken care of there. I don't feel like you'll have to return. And I feel like you'll find out closer to August 30th rather than the July date. It feels like they're backed up on paperwork or something like that. Like, so it's not even so much that yes, the board I feel like the board will vote unanimously to have you stay on, but it just feels like they're backed up on paperwork. Like I see like stacks and like kind of disorganization. Like it feels like somebody's sitting at a desk, and this may not be literal, it just may be to get me to convey this feeling. It just feels like lots and lots of folders and files and disorganization. I'm trying to make it a little warmer in here, sorry. Okay, so it feels like, again, closer to the August 30th date. It still feels very disorganized. So, like it just, the stacks of folders, like whatever, it just felt like more than one file and just very, very disorganized. Whoever's sort of handling it, it feels disorganized. But it's also like, Europeans are different. They go on holiday, and even with like the COVID stuff, I still feel like being a little bit slower process. So it still feels like closer to the August 30th date. So it might be that they offer, I don't know. Yeah, it just feels closer to the August 30th date. I'm going to stick with that. It's so that's fine. That's where it feels closer that you would find out. So you asked which one, and that's the one I feel I'm like leaning towards, for whatever reason. July 13th is what, like 2 days away, and it just feels like very disorganized and slow. It's working. Okay. Okay. There we go. Yay! So I was like, let me just look at my phone. Okay, this is all right. There's something a little spiritual there, I felt, because I literally just read this picture of a friend had sent me through Instagram of a post that connected to Allie, and like I was like ignoring it. And then I read it. Spirit's funny. Okay, Miss Ashley, go ahead and tell me, what's your second question? And then Devery, if you want to get ready with yours. And while I'm looking at that, I'm just going to look at different Allie's. She said she was working today and couldn't make it. Okay. Question 2. I've recently met 2 new guys. Don't give me initials. Just give me a name. No one's going to know. We can delete it. But first names are very, very, very helpful. Please and thank you. Can you type their first initials? I mean, their names? That'd be fantastic. Yes. Yes. Isn't that funny? Sorry. If you can't giggle at yourself and the silliness of life, what's the point? I'm just going to write their names just because you can go ahead and delete it. Or if you want me to delete it, I would be happy to. How about that? That way you feel more comfortable. Oh, I can't delete it, so you need to delete it. There you go. There, you have your privacy back. Because Oliver, yes, might find you randomly on my page. Okay. I'm trying to get past the silliness of the Yas name, like Yas. Sorry, I'm trying to get past that because I keep hearing that in my head, like Yas, girl, yes. And like feeling like it's like because Oliver, I feel flat on that one, just kind of like the energy is very, very flat. And it, like, so I don't know if this is the silliness in me leaning towards his name. Oliver feels like it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. Oddly enough, it really doesn't. It just feels like the energy feels flat. I feel like at least 3 or 4 dates with Yas. Yeah, is that how you say it? Yes? Sorry. I'm not getting a strong, like, this is going to be a huge commitment, but I feel like fun. Maybe that's why I'm being so silly with the name. I feel like Yas is a little more like fluid in his energy. And Oliver feels like flat. Okay, good. That's how you feel. So you're validating that. So it's not just me being like kooky. Yeah, it just feels like when I say fluid, I just mean more like go with the flow, having fun, not like, I mean, maybe he's fluid sexually, but just fluid, like just, like more, let's see what life brings us kind of energy. And Oliver feels kind of flat. I don't know. Not so much that way. All right, Miss Devery, you're up. Laura H, you're up. Oh, love, peace, you found me. Okay, because I saw your email, by the way, and I was like, yay. I was like, oh. And then literally when I saw it, I was like, well, I can't email her right now. I don't have time to like sit in. But you found me. I had a feeling you would find me. It would be all good. Question 1 for Devery. Decided on remote working, so I wanted to know, is that a good plan for me? At the end of the year, I plan on moving out of state again. Okay, first of all, I want you to I want you to clarify me, because as much as you think where you're at didn't work out for you, you're learning through the process. So then that means it's working. maybe I'm not asking you to clarify. Maybe I'm just going to go with the second one first, and then I'll answer your first one. I know that's your plan, but it's funny is they're making me feel like you're going to decide to stay put where you are. My sense is that what you're looking for, like the sense of comfort and the sense of happiness and all of that, isn't. It just reminds me of somebody who used to be a client, is now, like a friend, more of a friend, and I haven't done a reading for her in a long time, but she moved across the country and she was kind of like, it's going to all be there for me, right? It's all going to, like, everything will be better and blah, blah, blah. And I kind of was like, I tried to gently tell her that you got to work on this, because your scenery is going to be different, but the experiences are going to be quite similar, because remember, what we believe here comes up in our 3D here, right? So it just feels like you're going to keep running, hitting your head against the wall and doing the same thing, replaying the same thing, or having sort of the same feelings of unfulfillment if you move. The only thing I do feel that would be like the positive to moving is moving where cost of living is just slightly different. And like, so it would be like having, like, I'd get an upgrade in status, but actually paying less. Right? So like my apartment would be a little bit nicer, but I'd be paying less for it. My taxes would be lower. My lifestyle could be a little bit nicer with, cost of living being less. That's the only thing I feel like is like, I might be more comfortable materially or, that way. But I feel like the struggle with the relationships and meeting people is still really more about this stuff here. So I guess the way they're making me feel is it's not really that it didn't go well for you. You're learning something from it, and remember that it's all really perspective. So like from like a higher perspective, they're sort of saying like but it has worked out because you've learned a lot. And you've come into a lot of growth on your own and about like really doing some self-actualization. Does that make sense when I say that, Deborah? And I do feel like the remote working is good for you. And I say that because I feel like it decreases your anxiety. Like I just feel less, because I do feel like you're fairly clairsentient, which would be what the buzzword is empath. An empath, not you're clairsentient. Use that one because it helps you get more comfortable with your other clairs and being open to that, instead of being like, I'm an empath, but I'm not a clairvoyant, or I'm not a. Yes, you are. You can work with all of them. That'd be like saying, like, unless you're literally blind, like, I can touch and feel things, but I can't see or hear anything. Yes, you can. You can. You can do it all. I believe in it. I believe in you. So I do feel like you're fairly clairsentient, and I do feel like because of that, I lend to being like very sensitive to my coworkers and the energies of the buildings. So I have nobody typing right now. So can you validate any of this, Deborah? Sometimes you like, I give you an answer and then you just drop off and don't respond to anything. And I'm like, is she mad? Did I not? Like, I never know where I'm at with you, Deborah. Yes, it makes sense. Okay. Thank you. So I feel like it will work out well for you to do the remote stuff, and sort of like, it just feels like feeling more at peace and calm. And then also like not having to deal with like office drama. I know for me, when I did travel nursing, there was one place I worked, which I will not name names, And I worked there for the longest. I would just keep renewing contracts there because they were that short of nurses. And I asked not to work on a specific unit, that I just wanted to be like the float nurse and just throw me wherever you want every day. I don't really care. I can work on any unit. And that was because I did not want to get involved with the drama of each different floor had their own set of, and I just didn't, like, I just wanted to go and work, take care of kids and do my job and go home. Like take report, do my work, go home. And so like, it just feels like this will give you the opportunity to stay out of the drama. Laura H, you're up, and Allie, you guys are up. I'll check my PayPal. My nose is itchy today. What does that mean, anyone? Okay, Laura, I had a dream about two guys I kind of like, Enrique and Antonio. I mean, that sounds like a little spicy, you know what I mean? Sorry. Do you see anything happening with one of them? Hold on. I don't know why I've taken to really liking writing people's names when I do this now. Just going with the flow of whatever I want now. I've changed up my ways of reading a lot. Someone's talking about me. Chat away. I assume it's good, right? Like, I guess that's the reprogramming, the I ams, the, you know, shifting your belief system to the positive. I'm like, I'm just assuming they're talking and saying nice things about me. Whereas before I'd be like, oh God. Okay, sorry. Enrique and Antonio. I'm famous. Yes. Famous under 1,000 subscribers. I'll get there. Whatever's meant to be will be, as long as I'm helping people. That's really all that matters. I'm really enjoying what I do. I enjoy helping you guys. I enjoy teaching those that I get to teach and helping them learn to recognize their own intuition. And yeah, bringing comfort, like the Charmin of psychics. Kidding. Okay, Enrique and Antonio. I'm leaning more towards potential, like more of an actual attraction with Enrique, like IRL, in real life. Antonio feels more metaphorical. So I don't know what your dream was. I'm not trying to dig into that life because I feel like that's private and personal. And what stays in your dreams should remain, or what happens in your dreams stays in your dreams. I'm leaning more towards something potential in IRL with Enrique. So does that make sense to your dreams if I say that? Like the thing with Antonio feels more metaphorical. Maybe a representative of like an avatar of how you feel about all men, or how, whatever. Do you know who's really good at interpreting dreams? KK. Was your dream in Vegas? Wait, your dream was in Vegas? Seriously? That's pretty funny. Okay, so you agree. So when you guys write the one word, sometimes you're just a little bit behind me, and then I've like been yammering and I'm not sure what you're agreeing to. So are you agreeing that it would be more metaphorical for Antonio and more literal for Enrique? because then you and I, oh, it wasn't in Vegas. Okay. Then you and I are sort of on the same energetic. I'm connecting in and understanding it. It's weird. Vegas has like come up a couple times. I've been to Vegas once. It was when before my youngest was born. My middle daughter was maybe 2 or less, probably less. And we had been in Phoenix and we decided to fly home out of Vegas so we didn't have to take a red eye home with 2 little babies because that would not be fun. And we just like spent the day because I'd never been there. We literally walked up and down the strip in and out of all of the hotels because I wanted to see them all. And why drive? So we walked, like it was a long day, lots of walking. But I actually really like Vegas. I liked the vibe and the energy there. I'm not a gambler because all I can feel is like if I'm sitting around people who are gambling or even just walking behind them, all I feel is like they're anxious, whatever. And it's not that I'm like, oh, I can, but like the few times I went to, I don't know if you guys know where Coachella is in Louisiana. I went there one weekend and I was like, okay, I lost $10. I'm good. Let's go. Like I'm not a gambler. Okay, you agree with the metaphorical part. Okay, so what's question number 2? But I like the energy of Vegas. I like visually what's happening and I'm like very much like I get distracted by visual things, so like all the colors and lights, I'm very like, woo. Whatever. Random ramblings. Okay, so let's go, Laura. What's your second question? And then Allie's question. She said it was for 2, but she said she's at work, so she might be able to catch me on her break. But hers was wondering about her. So while I'm waiting for you to type yours, general. Okay. Okay, so we'll do a general, and then I'll go to Allie's. Where's my rock? Have you been feeling like lightheaded or dizzy lately? I just want to ask that because that was like an immediate feeling I got. Oh. Laura, have you been feeling lightheaded or dizzy lately? Feeling okay. Okay. So this might be something that comes up for you. Generally, if I start to feel something physical and better than usual. Okay. So it's sometimes something that is like coming up. So I don't feel like it's anything serious. It feels more like making sure you're well hydrated. So maybe you're in the next few days outside a lot or something and it's really, really hot and that creates a little bit of dizziness and feeling kind of. But then I also felt this really interesting thing come up for me in my solar plexus, but it was like this, like they're pushing it up as an awareness instead of feeling like the way it came up, this sense and the feeling I get is like having these old insecurities coming to the surface and becoming really, really aware about these old insecurities that I have. And it feels like it literally feels like not being enough, not being good enough, not being physically enough, like, the right physical attributes, whatever. It just feels like those old insecurities that kind of really feel like they like the sense of like, "Ugh, I get that you would deal with this when you're in high school or when you're that young, but like I should be done with those by now because I'm this age." So it's Queenie, I've been doing this since at 4 p.m. for a while now. So it's like these old insecurities kind of coming to the surface. Does that make sense? Old insecurities kind of like coming to the forefront, becoming really aware of them. Old stuff I still have to deal with. Yeah. Cause it was like literally like they're like I felt like my back being pushed up and pulled forward. So back will represent to me the past and like literally like pushed up and like to a very like forward into the forefront. Sure. Um, Queenie, you can donate. So the feeling I get is that they said to me is like, this isn't something you're going to have to deal with forever. But it feels like it's in the forefront for the next 6 months. And they're saying you need to focus on yourself. You've spent a lot of time focusing on everything and helping everyone around you and sort of like keeping busy so as to not have to deal with this old stuff and deal with the emotions and the feelings connected to it. So remember, motion is in the word emotion. Motion means movement. It needs to move. If you stop, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. Shove it down. Can't feel it. Like what happens to, think about what happens to energy. Like if you try and, I'm trying to think of a scientific experiment because I'm a science nerd. If you put pressure down on, like, say, expanding gas, right? Eventually it'll push off, right? Yeah, Autumn, you can donate. I'll check the PayPal in just a minute. So, like, like it's like when you shake up a bottle, right? Shake up a bottle, a soda bottle or a seltzer bottle, and you release the pressure, it comes shooting out. Well, but if you go slowly and you feel those emotions and you honor them and you process them, you're entitled to every single emotion that you have. They don't have to make sense. They don't have to make sense to you. They don't have to make sense to anybody else. They're your emotions. That's it. That's all they are. They're energy moving through you. It's motion. So it just feels like don't be afraid of like sort of honoring where you were at and having patience and I always like I've said this forever, even before Dylan James, be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself. Like you were going through a process, and I don't want to call it healing. I want to call it the process of reprogramming and looking at what were those old programs. You don't look at your computer and go, oh, therapy is beautiful. Therapy is probably one of the best gifts you could ever give yourself. And it's not because we're crazy. It's because there's someone there that's, if you can, obviously, if you can afford it and you can, work through it, but there's someone there that can help you process through those emotions, help you understand that they're normal, help you sort of come to the conclusions on your own and figuring out what to do with them and all of that stuff. Therapy's fantastic. So if you can afford it and you have the insurance, some places, if you can't, they have sliding scale type stuff. So, but it's really and truly one of the best gifts you could ever give yourself. There's no shame in ever going to therapy. It'd be like saying, don't go to the regular doctor because you don't know what you find out. And I think for far too long, we have not focused on our mental health, and our brains are these powerful, beautiful creations, and they create our entire experience. So we really need to honor them. You're welcome, Laura. So maybe that's your confirmation and your validation that that's the direction to go. Okay, so I'm gonna do Allie's question quick, and then I do not have Queenie. I don't have yours yet. Doesn't mean it's not coming, but it's just not showing up just yet. So I'll look, but I've got several people in front of you anyway. Okay, okie dokie. All right, Autumn, I'll check yours in a minute, okay? McDaniel crew, have you felt or seen anything about the missing little girl in Summer Wells? I don't know who the little girl in Summer Wells is. If you want to include a link and let me know where Summer Wells is and all that, I can look at it and see if I pick anything up. I don't know if I'll do that right here on this live, but I would not charge for that. obviously. Maybe I'll make a little, I'm not really sure. I'm looking at the time because you said okay, good. Okay. Okay, so Allie wants to know about any special talents she may have, inner talents. First of all, Allie, your guides are a bit cheeky and funny because they're like under a lock and key that you don't know about, like a hidden treasure. Like they're like literally making jokes. So don't shoot the messenger on that one. Okay, I'll look, Queenie. Don't worry. It's just sometimes it takes a while for them to process through when you process them this way. I don't know why. Some people it takes a little bit longer. I will look for it. So Allie, I don't feel like this thing that you're not aware of or like and I wish I had a better yes, you're going to become this master painter. But it does feel like you're much more intuitive and more connected to your intuition than you're aware of. But I don't feel like it's like something I'm going to use to do what I do, which if you want to, like, go for it, right? I'll support anybody because there's enough room for all of us. But it feels more like kind of using it with family and friends and like using it really to follow my own spiritual path and like what I believe and my connection. But you asked you have paid for 2 questions, and I feel like this is kind of a one question thing, and you're not here to really kind of do. So maybe what I'll do is I'll hold on to one of your things and use it for next week. Or if you see this and you want to email me for clarification and then ask a second question, I'm totally fine with that. I don't want to make that the norm for people to be like, oh, I paid and let me email you, because that's not the way I want this to work. I want this to be live, but you're here so regularly that I will make the exception for you. Okay. So just shoot me an email, or I'll email you back and then let you know. Starry Sky, you're up. Rachdan, you're up. Love Peace, you're up. The next 3. Okay, I have Maria and Autumn. All right, Queenie, I have you, and Autumn, I have you. See, sometimes it just takes a moment. But you guys need to wait your turn, okay? But I did get your payments. Starry Sky, are you here? Ah, there you are. I hope you're doing well. I had dreams of the ocean. Is there a spiritual message or meaning to the ocean from you, from my guides? The ocean represents your emotions, and it represents your spiritual connections, like your spiritual journey and your emotions. That is like what I got very clearly and very loud. Emotions more often than not. So like if you're in the middle of a huge wave, it's this huge wave of emotions. But I do feel it's also part of your spiritual connection. So say in your dream, you're walking along the beach, it's talking about, and it's your spiritual connection. Hi, Joe's Mystics. Welcome. It's nice to have you. Please like and subscribe, as they say. Did you want any other clarity on that, Starry Sky? And then Rachdan, if you want to go ahead and ask, how's your mom doing? I hope she's doing a little bit, perking up a little bit. Okay, first, Rachdan, am I saying it wrong? Because it's spelled R-A-H, but then in your email that's connected here, it's R-A-C-H, and I feel weird that I'm saying things wrong. Okay, so Starry Sky, if you want to clarify any of that, um, still not fully conscious. Okay. I do feel like she'll be waking up a little bit, but it takes a while. Rachna. Okay. Thank you. Oh, that's so much easier than the other one. Rachna. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing better. Sorry, Sky. Okay. So, Rachna, you're, stop with the I don't do well with money because you're just going to keep manifesting that over and over and over and over again. So that's your old story. Your old story is I used to not. You're welcome for asking. You used to not do great with money, but then you shifted your belief system and you recognize that the universe brings you all of your desires, that we create our reality here. If you haven't started watching Dylan James, just start, get a start there. I am planning on trying to carve out time this week to record my affirmations, and then I will post a thing here for you guys to listen to my affirmations at night while you sleep. Because I really do believe this works, because every time I recommend stuff to people about this stuff, they come back to me and they're like, oh my God, like literally I had an appointment with someone today and she was like, oh my God, this is like life-changing. It is life-changing. It literally is life-changing once you start understanding. And I've been doing manifesting for a long time. So I 1,000% believe in manifesting. And I 1,000% think this is like really a game changer in a sense. So keep up with that and shift that. Because if you keep saying like, I'm not good with money, I need to rely on somebody else to bring in the money, then that's how it's going to work. Instead of looking around you and seeing like, even when I find like, my daughter's like, we were at Coney Island last weekend and she's like, Mommy, I found a penny on the ground. I was like, pick a penny. I see a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck. Like I was like, and she's like, huh? And I'm like, popped it in my pocket. I look at the universe giving me money in different ways. I don't look at it as like, I have to have a check in my name. So maybe my husband gets a bonus. I'm like, well, we got money. Or maybe, and I'm not like super like, whatever. I don't know. So I was looking at, because my circles weren't filling up that much, I was feeling like a little depressed and down. And then I recognized, well, but I did better this past June than I had without that money there than I had the previous June. So I'm like, okay, so I'm really like, it's everything is perspective. So I was like really excited because I'm like, okay, I'm doing really well. Everything is perspective, right? And so, because I was feeling down about like my circles not filling up and filling up, right? But then I just decided, you know what? The perfect people are there that need to learn from it from this time around. And I want to keep doing them because I really enjoy them. And I hope to get feedback to give to you guys from the participants that they're really enjoying it too. And it's very, very helpful. So money comes to me easily. Money flows in easily. Like just start with those things instead of saying, oh, it's so hard to get money, or thinking in a mindset of lack. Because if you believe that the world is like money is really hard to come by, I have to struggle in order to receive something, that's what you're going to keep bringing into your life. So shift that first. Second, I do believe he'll be educated and that financially you will do well. I don't feel like, so I don't know what you would put this as. Like, I don't feel like rolling in the dough, but I feel like doing well. Like I'm not living paycheck to paycheck or working 15 jobs in order to like make ends meet. I'm doing well. My timeline is perfect. Oh, for this. Yes. See, you can do it for somebody else. So all you have to do is do that work for yourself, right? And sometimes it's easier to see like suss out with somebody else. So you're like, oh, that's like you'll have your own house. Though I know it's customary sometimes to have your mother-in-law to live with you. And I do feel like that may happen. It feels like it would be maybe like a 1,500 square foot, 2,000 square foot home. It doesn't feel gigantic, but it also feels like that's not the only home. Like it feels like we'll have one and then like it's like a starter home. Oh my God, to the mother-in-law or oh my God to the house? They're showing me so here's the thing, they're showing me the equivalent of what it would be here. So it may literally be that, or it may be just that feeling of like this is the starter home, and then we sell and move up as we save money and as our investment in our property grows. Oh, the mother-in-law thing. Yeah. Sorry. I don't feel like she'll be that bad. Some mother-in-laws are like, hmm. And keeping the comments from the peanut gallery. But some are really lovely and you know, it feels like she's more quiet. It's either a mother-in-law or a grandmother. But I feel like she's quiet, kinda like keeps to herself. I don't feel like she has an opinion about everything or needs to tell you how to do everything. And again, when we rebuild our belief system, right? People show up to play the parts to create that. So just saying. Love, peace, you're up. Tracy, I have to do yours because yours is, you asked it. His education? I feel like a college graduate. I don't feel like, oh, you mean like a specialty? I don't know. I'm not getting anything, but I do feel professional because I feel like I'm wearing, and wherever you're living, it's going to be hot because I see him like sweating. Um, like it's really weird. They're showing me like he's wearing a nice dress shirt and like nice pants, but I feel like sweating, like hot sweating. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it could be an IT guy, yeah. But it feels like I'm educated. Like I don't feel like I'm, uh and it doesn't here's the thing, a formal education in the sense that so like we all get all kinds of like life education. So some people become entrepreneurs and open their own businesses and restaurants and they do extremely well, but they wouldn't be considered educated because, they maybe it's like something that runs in their family. Like it's the family business, right? So they learn just through growing up with it, but it's not like they have a degree in like, from say Le Cordon Bleu for cooking, like, but they like their whole family, like that's what they've done, right? So um or a certificate. I don't know if cordon bleu is certificate, hello, or if it's a degree or whatever you call it. But uh, so it's not to be like all it's better than it's just like it feels like whatever it is. It's like I go through a formal education to get and work. Okay. When I read Love Peace, when I read because you sent me the email and didn't want me to use your name, you wanted to verify. So totally respect that and kudos to you for that. So I appreciate that. But it's funny, like I already get the information and the feeling I got is they will provide a lease, but I feel like you need to read over that lease and be very careful with it because I feel like you need to dot your I's and cross your T's. Like it's very important and make sure that you read the fine print and you may even include a little something like don't just go there like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. Say, I want that in writing and then I'll sign it. So like if it's like, I don't know what it is. Like it feels like there's something you're like, oh, like this should if they're like, oh yeah, just sign it. Don't worry. You can honor our word. I feel like with these people, you need to have it in writing. You're welcome, Rachna. I feel like you need to have it in writing. It's super important with these people because I don't feel like they'll honor that. So I feel like they will come up with a lease for you, but you need to make sure like it's detailed, that it's in writing and that you have them sign it. And I also feel like you need to take pictures of the property before you move anything in. So whether it's like they say, we'll make sure that it's professionally cleaned before you move into the carpet's professionally cleaned or whatever it is, I feel like you need to make sure that's in writing because I don't feel like they'll honor it if you don't. I don't think you'll need a real estate lawyer. I just think you need it in writing. Because real estate lawyers really only deal with not rental so much, unless there's an issue like with the rental lease agreement. But it just feels like make sure it's in writing. Like if they say they're going to do something, make sure that you have it in writing with these people because I just feel like they won't necessarily honor it. So, and they'll be like, well, it's not in the lease. So, and you're like, oh, but you said, and you're like, yeah. It just feels like at the end of the day, they may scrimp and save to, again, money. I wish I could say like, oh yeah, that was totally, but that was like so strong to me when I read that was like, make sure everything's in writing because I feel like they'll provide you a lease, but I don't feel like they'll honor it unless it's in writing. And so that is that. Miss Tracy, you said, I want to reread this just to make sure because you said, I don't think, no, I think they're just slow because they're unorganized. I don't think it has anything to do with the intention of like, let's be sneaky with her. I literally just think they're super unorganized. And I feel like at the end of the day, if it means like saving a buck or two, if it's not in the lease, they don't have to honor it. And I feel like they would lean towards that. So it just feels like make sure it's in writing, whatever it is, it's in writing. And I feel like they're just, procrastinators, but I don't think it's like intentional towards you. Or I don't feel. No. We should feel our intuition, not think it. Think it is your left brain. Think is logical. Intuition is not. So, Tracy, I didn't pick up, this is what was interesting. Okay, first of all, you said, are you here, Tracy? Yes, there's a list, Joe's Mystics. There is a list, and you are the very last one right now. I like your name, it's funny. On your PayPal. So there's Tracy, Lauren, Jane, Regine, Queenie, Autumn, and then Joe's Mystics. Okay. So you said something about, well, I'm ADD and that's stopping me from, let me look at it again. I'm going to read it. My question will be, what are we doing? My ADHD is making it hard for me to commit to a singular career. So because you believe that, because you say that, then it is, right? What we create here has to show up in our 3D. It has to. Joe's Mystics did send it. So KK might be busy for a second, so she'll update the list in just a minute, or whenever she gets to it. So if you believe it, you create it here on your 3D, right? So stop saying that. If you say this is stopping me from being able to find my career, then that's exactly what you keep creating. So stop that. So whoever led you to believe that as a belief system, it's not. There's plenty of people with ADHD that find ways to function and they adjust and they do things totally differently and they find this career and they have a career path and they do great. And they can be severe ADHD. They've just figured out how to do it differently and make it work for them. Bye, love, peace. Your distractions may also not be like a clinical ADHD. It may actually be like more like I'm picking up on a lot of extrasensory stuff, intuition, and it's distracting. And I have to tell you, like, I don't consider myself to be ADHD. I was doing the reading this morning and someone was coming through that was not related to the person I was doing the reading for. And I had to be like, dude, go away, because I was having a hard time focusing. And it feels like sometimes we're picking up on intuition and the energies of people around us, and it's distracting. And it's pulling us away, or guides are talking to us and we don't realize that that's what's going on. And it's pulling us away from focusing on what we're doing. And so, yes, you may have ADHD, but it doesn't mean that you can't find a career, and it doesn't mean you won't find a career. So if you look at what your patterns are, like I said, there's plenty of people who are ADHD and they figure out ways to function. So don't let that be your crutch. I'm not saying it's not real. Shift the belief system. You should probably do these affirmations too and help you like, I am focused, I am organized, I am highly organized in my real life, I am focused in my real life, I am able to, uh, it may mean that you become a list maker, right? Or you have a list of things like tasks you have to have, and you have different lists all over the place, like, right? So like if you're at work and I need to sit and doing work, I have a list of things I have to do while I'm doing my work. I have a list of tasks that I have to do to get ready in the morning and stay on task and focus on your list. And not to say like you're like a little kid, but when you have smaller children, you end up redirecting them a lot. My 8-year-old is a Pisces, and so she's like very and she requires a lot of redirection. And I don't think consider her to be ADHD because she can sit and focus and do stuff if she wants to. But right, so do your lists and then just recognize maybe that means even as somebody with ADHD, you become someone who teaches other people to be highly organized, to be list makers, and show them how to function with that. Maybe you it's just where I just went, so I'm going with this feels right to me. You take what you're learning and okay, well, so I had a hard time staying on task, and lots of people have a hard time staying on task. Lots of people don't know how to become really organized. They're not taught that. So maybe you become a professional organizer or a professional coach, organizational coach. You can do those things even with ADHD. And use it to your advantage rather than your disadvantage. So, and you should have them in multiple spots because the way it felt to me was like I've got one on the bathroom mirror or the bathroom counter of like, okay, brush my teeth, fix my hair, blah, blah, blah. Like, because I've seen videos where the poor person's like then starts thinking about the toilet paper and maybe I should go get that. And it's like, it just feels like you need to be highly scheduled and highly organized, and it would help you significantly. And then also, like when we do with meditations, it feels like some people get focused on, oh my God, I had this thought, and what if I forget? So decide with your intuition, I'll remember it. I teach my girls, are like, oh my God, I forgot. I'm like, what's the rule? We always remember. We'll always remember it. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Skip your mind now. We'll always remember it. That's become our belief system. We'll always remember it. We'll remember it. It'll come up when it needs to. And then you stop focusing on it like, oh my God, I'll never remember this if I don't do it right now. So you can say like, I'll remember it when I need it. And then just decide. Your brain is an amazing thing. And I know that sounds, oh, Anna, that's so simple, but it works. And I wouldn't say it if it didn't work. And I'm also like into being super practical, and not having this like, but schedules work when you have a hard time staying focused. Having a very ritualistic schedule helps your brain, and lists. And for that, I actually do feel like it wouldn't be a career you have. It would be something like where I come up with this idea of this really works. And then people seeing it and being like, yeah, I can totally help you, show you how to do this and how to become organized. Let's look at what you do. Okay, and like helping somebody else come up with a schedule and like becoming like an organizational coach. I know. Sounds out there, but that's what I feel. Use it seriously to your advantage. Does this even resonate with you at all? Or do you think I'm a total nutcase for coming up with this? And if I'm a nutcase, that's fine. I'm a happy nutcase. Lauren Jane, you're up. Regine, Queenie, Autumn. Synchronicity. That was funny, KK. You put closed, and I was like, oh, you're the last, and that's it. And I didn't mean it was closed, but it really is time to close. So we're in sync. Bye. Sorry. I'm not leaving. I'm just thinking that NSYNC song. Bye. Nerd. Okay. Does that make sense, Tracy? Are you feeling satisfied with your information? Lauren Jane, Regine, Queenie, Autumn, if any of you want to ask. There you are. The new car in September. Am I seeing anything more? I actually feel like what's going to happen is, oh, brand and color. No, what's funny is I see this older car, like literally on its last leg. Like it reminds me of my very first owned car, like that I owned. It wasn't my parents', was an 86 Honda Accord, 5-speed, 4-door. And like I don't know if you knew this model, but like the lights would pop up like little eyeballs. But the left light stopped popping up unless I would slam my door really hard, and then it would pop up. But that car, it was such a piece of crap. My mechanic in college was like, "Can you please buy a new car?" And I was like, whatever. I should have bought a new car. I should have gone and just figured out how to get the loan on my own and buy a new car and all that. I had zero to put down. It put me in hock. I would have been better off buying a car on a credit card and paying 20% interest. But it was a total piece. However, it always started in the wintertime, 20 below, 40 below wind chills, and that thing was like started like a champ. So what I feel like happens is like your car is literally on its last leg, and then you get a new car. I feel like it's a certified used car. I know I've said this before to somebody else because it doesn't feel like I just go to like Bob's Hobo auto part, and junkyard thing. Like I feel like, but I also don't feel like I'm getting a brand new car because it feels like getting a certified used car. And I don't know if it's that, like, I know they're talking about car prices going up now, but it feels like it's like practically brand new. It's barely been driven. It's in really, really good shape. And it's like, I'd be stupid to pass this up. And I'm not seeing a make and model. So I'm leaning more towards like a Japanese brand. So what is it? Honda, Hyundai, Acura, Lexus, Toyota, like in there. I feel like nice. So like not just a like entry level car, but I feel like I got a good deal on it. Again, same kind of thing as somebody else had asked me. And I'm seeing a darker color car. So I don't see it being like a silver, champagne, a white. It feels like darker, but I don't necessarily think it's black. So maybe like a dark green or a dark blue color. Or Honda has this color that it's like a brown shade, but it doesn't look brown. It looks more gray than brown, something like that. It feels darker to me, darker color. And I don't necessarily know that it's a sedan. It might be more of a small SUV or a mid-level SUV. It's not a big honking car, but it just feels like I don't feel like really, really super compact or anything. So enough to put some people in and carry them around if you need to, or stuff. You're welcome. Lauren Jane, are you here? Maybe let me just double check and see if she wrote her question, if she emailed her question. No. Lauren Jane, are you here? Autumn, I'll get you then. Okay, and Queenie and Joe's Mystics, you guys can go ahead and type. Okay, so Autumn, anything on your next relationship? Maybe who or when? They're laughing, so, like, they're kinda like, "This is a total joke, so take it this way," but it was kinda like this joke, like, if I told you exactly who it was and their address, you'd go knock on the door, be like, "Are you ready?" Not that I think you're a stalker, but it was like this just silly little, um can you hear my kids talking in the background? Sorry. I could hear someone go, "Shh." Um, okay, so what I feel like is I actually feel like he's not available yet. So I feel like he's probably still in a relationship right now and not available yet. Um, so it's not somebody who's just like single and waiting around and they're just like it's like he's literally not available yet. So it's like go do your thing and do you and just go on about your merry way. Um, I heard something about September, but I don't feel like it's this September. Um, I actually feel like it may be next September until like you have this person who would be your next serious relationship. Again, I don't feel like he's really available right now. I feel like he's in a long-term committed relationship right now and it's sort of ending. And September is technically summer. Most of it. It doesn't turn fall until what, like around the solstice, around the 22nd, 23rd. So yeah, it feels like that. And so I don't know if it's marriage or if it's like just a long-term relationship, but I feel long-term committed that I'm in right now, and it's sort of starting to kind of fade. And he'll date a few people in between, and then you guys meet, and it may be through a dating app. I'm not getting a strong lean sway either way, but I don't feel like it's meeting through friends or work. Why are you concerned about your husband, Queenie? And then tell me what you want me to look at first, and tell me his name if that's what you really want. Lauren Jane, are you here? And Joe's Mystics, you can go ahead and ask your question. KK, did Lauren Jane post somewhere? I just don't see my boyfriend. Okay, I see your question, Joe's Mystics. Would you please post his first name? That's helpful for me. Certain that they found something on my okay. Okay, that's fine. I can email her or refund her money, whatever. Um Queenie, can you tell me so Joe's Mystics, if you'll tell me your boyfriend's first name, that would be lovely. Devante. Okay. You can delete that if you want to. It just helps me with the energy of it since I can't. And Queenie, can you tell me your husband's first name? Hi, Christine. The list is closed now for today, but if you, and they are paid readings, if you, they're $5, 30% goes to I donate every week to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. If you go to subscribe and hit the bell, or go to my website and subscribe to my website, you'll get reminders. It's just I only send out an email once a week. I don't bombard people because don't have time to send out that many emails or set up that many emails. Found something on my lung, and he hasn't been a doctor, but Wait, why are you concerned about your husband? It's confused. I saw that you said they found something about your lung, but what's the concern about your husband? And then I'm gonna answer Joe's while I'm waiting for you though. Joe's mystics. So I actually feel like he feels like he's being smothered. Like he is not great at processing emotions. And so it just feels like you're it feels like this like what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And he's like not really great at processing emotions and he doesn't even know his own emotions. And so then like when you kind of come at him in a very emotional tone, he's like, "Ugh," like I feel suffocated, smothered, but I don't feel like it's like you're not really doing anything. It's just this energetic thing that's going on. And it just feels like this is like where we go back to mindset stuff, right? So it feels like if I if I feel like he's going to leave, if I feel like I'm having to do all this, not coming. Do you ever ask him to share his emotions? So I said it's not necessarily that you actually are, but it's that's how he perceives it. Okay. I'll look at that in just a second, Queenie, okay? So it's I'm not saying I said it's his perception, right? So it just feels like, so it's a protective thing, an emotional protective thing. Like I can't even deal with my own. How can I deal with her stuff? Um, I can only tell you what I'm getting. So this is the feeling that I'm getting. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this is the feeling I'm getting. So I'm not coming from a place of judgment. This is the way they're making me feel. And I'm going to stick with it because I've had enough people come back to me and go, oh, actually, you were right. So even if you take a step back, it doesn't matter where before I can't deal with my emotions. I don't know what's going on. I don't process them. So I shut down. That's what I feel about him. So even if you're stepping back, it's like there's a point where he felt overwhelmed by whatever was going on and that's what I feel like I'm not processing my emotions. I don't know what they are. I can't deal with your emotions either. Like it's just like so I shut down. Okay? Um that's what they're showing me. I have to tell you what they're showing me. I can't make it up to fit whatever's going on with you and I'm not going to change what I'm getting to like go in line with what's going with you. I can only tell you what's going. Okay. Um I think that that's an excuse for him. And I think that's what he's using as an excuse rather than like figuring out his own emotions and processing what's going on within him. I'm happy to be wrong. But I can tell you, I used to go, oh no, they said something totally opposite. I'm wrong. But I don't necessarily feel like that's the case. They're coming through to me. They're showing it to me this way. So I'm sort of like one of those people that's like double down on it now. That whereas I used to be like, huh, I'm always saying like I'm happy to be wrong, but this is what I'm feeling. He does not process his emotions very well. I've done enough of these readings and they give it to me this quickly. He doesn't process his emotions really well. So even if you're asking, even if you're not actually coming on and being like, these are my emotions. It's like he perceives everything one way, and that's how he's responding as I'm going to shut down. I am going to emotionally distance myself because I don't know how to process what I'm feeling. Okay. So I can't tell you whether you should be with him or not be with him. The challenge in being with somebody, what he's going through is, and this is what I feel like the challenge in your relationship will be if you stay. And by all means, stay if you want. There's always a lesson to learn in anything, staying and walking away and all of that. So I'm not going to tell you what you should do because I shouldn't impart my will, right? But I will tell you if you stay, the challenge will always be that he has a hard time processing his emotions. And he will, instead of connecting with you and talking to you about that and like being like, hey, this is where I'm at, not that he expects you to heal it or fix it or anything else, what he will lean towards doing is shutting you out and being cold. Because again, he doesn't know how to process his own emotions and his own stuff. I don't feel like he's necessarily going to try and manipulate you or anything. I just feel like that's how I deal with things, is I emotionally disconnect. It doesn't feel like this relationship is, it feels like a newer relationship. I don't feel like we've been together years and years or off and on for years and years. It feels new-ish. But the other thing that I keep being brought back to is it's that belief system and mindset stuff. So what am I believing in here? That's sort of what they're bringing my focus to, is the belief systems I have in here that tell me, that sort of attract and have these players in my play show up and play the part of being the person who says, I don't deserve, like, people don't show up for me 100%. People aren't emotionally available to me. I don't deserve to have somebody who's emotionally available or connected and vulnerable. Yeah, March is still fairly new. That doesn't feel like a long time to me. um, it's still a fairly new relationship. That's only a couple months. So, um, so, and I suspect a lot of the men you have dated have been emotionally unavailable. And I do feel like you're more mature now. So you're kind of like, been there, done that, over it. Like, it doesn't feel like, what's wrong with me? But if you want to know why you keep attracting this, it's this belief system of that started, like, it feels like a generational thing, and also a like generational in the sense that we don't fully process emotions. We don't, like, let's not, like, we don't want to know about the bad stuff. We don't want to have the bad feelings. Um, so try not to complain or feel sad or angry. It's like kind of stuff and shove them down. Or at least yours weren't honored. And I just feel like when we're taught that, when we're programmed with that, when we're little, unintentionally, because I really don't think it's an intentional thing, but unintentionally, we're programmed with that stuff. We have that in here as our coding, and so it has to keep showing up until we reprogram it. How do you reprogram it? I tell people all the time about Dylan James on here, but I'm gonna get my affirmations in here. So subscribe and like so you can know when I post them. But it's about reprogramming our thoughts and our beliefs about ourselves. Look, nothing until you're right and full and whole in here, then you're going to keep bringing up the old stuff. Just how it works. You're not behind in the stream. It's okay. Oh, you mean like there's a delay? That's fine. I'm used to it. So I've gotten used to like waiting for answers. I've been doing this for 2 years now, I think. So I'm used to it. It's fine. So when you're like having to process that, it keeps showing up. So how do you, the easiest way you can do it by writing affirmations and being in the mindset. I mean, when something comes up and you feel triggered, ask, what is it that created this situation? What belief system I have that creates this situation? Like, look at it more logically, right? So from a like a scientific, like studying the perspective of it, right? A sociological type project rather than, or anthropological. What is that? Kind of both. Sociological, I suppose. So when you look at it from that aspect, rather than like be like, there's something wrong with me. Oh my God, there's something wrong with the situation. Like going into panic mode, go into like calm mode, be like, all right, some things trigger me. What? And you can put it out into the universe, and you'll either get an immediate thought, or you'll get a memory about an experience, and you're like, oh, that's what created this sort of situation, as I was taught this belief system about that. That's what happens for me a lot, where I'll be like, oh, I was taught like, And I do this with all of my relationships and all of my interactions, strangers, family members. I'm like, okay, why am I being triggered here? What belief system do I have? And all of that stuff that created that. And how do I reprogram that? And sometimes even just the awareness of it reprograms it and resets it. Yeah, feelings and when feelings aren't highly expressed or validated, then being connected to somebody who's really in touch with their emotions and connected to their emotions can feel very threatening to us. So we have this idea that, okay, my emotions don't deserve to be honored, my feelings don't deserve to be honored, and having emotional, deep emotional, vulnerable connections with people is foreign and abnormal and maybe weak. So I don't want somebody who's weak, right? So um, you start drawing in all kinds of stuff into your life and relationships in your life where your feelings and your emotions aren't validated. You're not honored where you're at. Having somebody who totally shuts down as being somebody who's um, not respecting the fact that you're a part of a partnership, right? Um, I don't know that this guy is the one, but I feel like you're going to grow into having somebody who is much more emotionally connected and more mature in their emotional. It doesn't mean that he's more mature than you, but more and by the way, age does not make somebody more emotionally mature. I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to start kind of processing, looking at all of this and like doing your more spiritual connection and healing a lot of this stuff. Healing, I hate to say, I should say reprogramming a lot of it because we're not broken. We are not broken people. We just got crappy programming. And so like old school programming, and we got to update that stuff to be in today's modern society, right? And the beauty of that is like knowing that we can keep updating and get better and better. It's not like a I'm healed and done, because it doesn't work that way. It's we keep updating. Because the problem with thinking of it as a broken and a healed type thing, it's like, well, I'm healed, right? Oh no, when am I ever going to heal? It's like, no, we just keep updating. And that's like feels like a more like accepting type way of looking at it. Um I don't even know where I went. I just went off on this massive ramble with you. Hang on, let me look at it. So, I I don't feel like he has bad intentions. I don't feel like he's necessarily fully like invested in being a full-time partner right now, but I don't feel like it's like, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't think it's really about you. But they sort of wanted to talk about like drawing in new partners and what happens and how you fix that and why you keep drawing those kind of partners in. It feels like sometimes they take your question and are like, let's talk about something that's going to be much more helpful. Stop, run, run. Pass the baton to the next lady. Keep running. That's scary to me. That is like the biggest red flag ever, and that's very scary to me. Please run away from that relationship. That is a 4-month relationship. Run, run. Very good. Run from that relationship. And just because someone says, I want to have a baby with you, does not mean that they are fully invested in you and fully available. So let's be real about that one. Run from that relationship. That's really scary. That's like really scary. Run. I don't tell people to do that much, but that is like huge red flag. And that's the smart way. So like trust your intuition. Your intuition is saying like, no, whoa, whoa, whoa. And trust that. Like I'm here to reinforce trust your intuition on that. Your intuition does not lie. It doesn't mean we always listen to our intuition, but your intuition does not lie. Your ego lies all the time, but your intuition doesn't. All right, Queenie, let's look at you. Now you said something about your husband, and I didn't understand it. So I'm going to talk about first about your lung. I feel whatever it is, it's small. I don't feel like it's a cyst because I'm like, is this a cyst? It's like, no, it's a small growth, but it feels like benign. And I keep hearing like, I don't know if it's like squamous. I don't know if squamous cells can go crazy in your lungs. Um, I don't know even know if that's a thing. Let's look. Okay. It may not be totally benign, but it just feels like whatever it is, it's contained. I don't feel like it's spread anywhere and it feels very small. So maybe they've measured it to like zero point 0.5 centimeters or 5 millimeters. It feels very, very small. Did they give you a measurement on it yet, Queenie? And I feel like treated and done. Treated and done, like, and done. Is it in the upper right lobe? You're welcome, Autumn. Queenie, are you here? Okay, can you tell me about Joe? Stay away, run. Any man, I don't care if he's freaking out about, I have all these other stuff, and so I want to have a baby right away. That's very scary to me that if you don't know somebody very well, you'd want to get into a lifetime commitment with them. So run. He already has one baby. So, Queenie, did they diagnose or is it in the upper right lobe? And did they give you a size yet? Because I felt like it was small. I'd say either 5 millimeters or 0.5 centimeters. It feels very small. And it feels contained. Oh, he hasn't been to a doctor for over 30 years. Sorry, I just read that and leaf size of a quarter. I'm confused what that means. Jocelyn, I'm not doing readings right now, but they are not free. They are $5 per question. I've closed the list for the day. I will be back next week. I come back every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and 30% of the money that I receive goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Sorry, not free. When I was doing them for free, I was getting like 50 people signing up in the first 2 minutes, and then some people were getting kind of rather nasty and rude about it. So I thought, well, I can donate and feel like it's, energy exchange and all of that. Hi, Urban Lady. I hope you're well too. I thought about Urban Lady. I thought about you the other day when I read a news story about the state you live in. I don't want to like out you or anything. And I was like, oh, wear those masks. um, I know you will. Okay, sorry, Queenie. It's in the left. Is it the upper lobe? Yeah. Okay. They saw both and the right is clear, correct? Have they biopsied it yet? And I'm trying to figure out where, I don't know why. Scars in the right. Okay, I'm like, why am I showing the right? Okay, that's all. Because I'm like, why are they showing me the right? So this feels like it's um they haven't yet biopsied. Okay. It feels like it's if they try to do like a, which I don't think they'll do it this way, but this is what they're showing me because I'm like, what if they did like a needle aspiration? Would it have liquid come out? And it feels like no. It feels like it's solid. It feels like it's contained. It feels like it's almost like the way they're showing me like granular. Um, the way like if you look at the way fat cells clump together, they have like these little like ball, like whatever. It feels like that to me, but it feels contained and it feels together. And it feels like it's whatever it is, it's easy and it doesn't come back. It just feels like a one and done thing. As far as Ray goes, I feel like I would be more concerned about him. I can't diagnose it. I really can't. I don't feel great about it. Um, I feel like he's been ignoring a lot of symptoms, like GI symptoms, for a very long time. Like it feels like lots of burpee, gassiness, going between. I feel like being very backed up. Like I feel like having a lot of those issues, being very distended in my stomach and feeling very backed up. Like I can't go, having lower back pain. Um, and I'm feeling a lot of his thoughts of feeling like a lot of regrets about not going. Does that resonate, Queenie? Laura H., do you happen to still be here? Yeah. Okay. So, timing wise, this kind of sucks because you both got something going on, but I feel like you're going to be just fine. And really, like, the focus will be on him as far as medical care and needing stuff. I don't want to go with like what it feels like to me because it doesn't, it feels like it's going to be a lot. Um, um, as you said, he hasn't been to a doctor in 30 years. So, but it just feels like diet sucks, activity level sucks, and like just overall not having had taken care of myself. And I also feel like just sort of genetically, genetic predisposition to having colon issues. But don't get ahead of yourself. So, this is what I tell people I love: don't be Dr. Google. Don't be Dr. Google. Like it you can read all you want, but you're going to be like, okay, if it's this, and you're going to be trying to plan. It's like, stop. get all the go in and get the tests done that they tell you to get done, and meet with the doctors that they tell you to meet with, and then have a second party listen. Like go with him to the appointments and have somebody come with you to your appointments to hear the doctors and hear what they're saying, so that you can have somebody who's not in their head about, oh my God, all of these terrible things are happening to me, to register everything that's going on. See if you can sign up for the Obamacare stuff. See if he qualifies and he can get it, if you can afford it. There are hospitals that have indigent care. There are hospitals that have things that set up for that. So it may be that you don't get the choice of where you go, but I feel like there'll be stuff that happens. But I do feel like it's fucking sucks that we have to make a choice between health and bills in the United States. I do feel like eventually we will be have socialized medicine and have that be like a right, not just like everybody has access to it. Everybody, much like Canada and Europe has, and sooner rather than later. So I did readings on that years ago, and they're somewhere on this YouTube thing. But I would be concerned, and I would not ignore it. And I will say that. Okay. Autumn, yes, you can pay. Yes, I'll answer it. I don't feel like it's Matt. I don't feel like it's somebody you know yet. I don't feel like they're in your circle. Lauren Jane, are you here? One last call, and then I'm saying good night. Adieu. We will see you next week. How does Willy Wonka say? Adieu. Have a lovely, lovely week. Enjoy yourselves. And if you're in the Houston area, I will say this once again, please look at the link I have below about Allison Chapman Kempe and see if you can, if you see anything, if you know anything, share it around. We're hoping to get any kind of information we can about her whereabouts. Have a wonderful week. Come back and see me next week. Go to my website, sign up for my website. You'll get my letters, have a private reading, all of that good stuff. Have a good one. Thanks, KK.